Hey y'all, thanks for coming back to Earth to Mars, and thanks so much for tuning in to episode 3 of INTJ Talk. So, this episode is very interesting. I really like it. I think you guys will too, so I'm really excited to dive in. And just a little background if you guys don't know, I live in Louisiana, so we were dealing with Hurricane Ida last week or week before last. So if you've noticed like a little dip in my videos, that was why, just, trying to deal with everything. So moving forward though, I will be back on a more consistent schedule so we can get this thing going and I can get more videos out to you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So the topic of this video is the INTJ personality type and how it's categorized into two subtypes. And those are the INTJ-A Assertive types and the INTJ-T Turbulent types. Now, while these two subtypes are fairly similar, they differ in big ways with how they interact with people, in work environments, and just how they go about achieving their goals. So I'm going to dive into each of the subtypes separately, and I'm curious to know which subtype you guys are. And excuse my hoarseness right now too, guys. I am like the allergy queen right now. So just first moving on to the INTJ-A personality subtypes. So they are the more independent of the two subtypes. They're able to handle their workload, their personal stuff, with little to no outside help. They're usually the more confident subtype in regards to delegating or asserting themselves when needed, like you can tell from the name, right? And INTJ-As are usually good with decision making because they're confident with, the solution that they came up with, and they aren't the type to really second guess themselves. Also, this subtype is a little more laid back than INTJ-Ts. They're not so hard on themselves. They usually have less stress and anxiety, and they can handle pressures, whether from work or life, a little bit better. This is the subtype that if something goes wrong or not as planned, they can pretty easily move on from it, and they're less likely to, dwell on a situation or drag it out. They just, keep it moving and they try to do better next time. They're more focused on the big picture rather than getting caught up on minor details. And INTJ-As aren't the type to seek validation or approval from others. Rather, that comes from within. They're able to do whatever it is they want to do without really any outside noise or peer pressure or someone in their ear. They have pretty high self-esteem when it comes to navigating the external world. Now, with all of those strengths, INTJ-As definitely have weaknesses also. Since this subtype is so independent with how they go about their lives, it can definitely rub some people the wrong way because they can come off as extremely insensitive. Since they are so confident in their abilities and their decision making, they can sometimes unknowingly isolate people who, may want to work with them or offer a second opinion to them. And this subtype, more so than INTJ-Ts, can use logic, facts, and statistics almost to a fault. They don't show a lot of emotion, nor do they handle other people's emotions too well either. They can sometimes be really dismissive of emotion, which can make them seem distant or robotic, arrogant, or just like they don't give a damn. And that's never good, of course, especially for the people on the receiving end of that. INTJ-As usually understand the sometimes needed aspect of social cues and niceties and that type of thing. They know about it and they understand it, but they just don't care about it. This is the subtype that doesn't like small talk or really a lot of what goes into dealing with the general public. So that resistance to social constructs can make it hard when trying to form, work relationships or personal relationships with this specific subtype. So that was the gist of the INTJ-A Assertive subtypes. So now let's move right on into the INTJ-T Turbulent subtypes. So the INTJ-Ts are definitely more approachable than the INTJ-As. These are the subtypes that are more open to conversations and social niceties. They also show more emotion than INTJ-As. They will listen more, to a certain degree about your emotions and, all the feelings you may be feeling, and they won't be so dismissive. They also are more open to someone's opinion more than an INTJ-A is. And INTJ-Ts are the subtypes who are dedicated to whatever task it is they have at hand. They want to make sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed. And more times than not, the stress or the pressure that they're feeling is what propels them to achieve something. So that's really how they actually, gain their success. They push through that feeling of stress or feeling of anxiety that they may have, so they don't always see it as a detriment. Also, INTJ-Ts are more meticulous and they try to lessen the amount of mistakes that they make before they even happen. They're usually the subtypes who will see inconsistencies in a system before anyone else will. Like, they have exceptional foresight. And their constant need for improvement and bettering systems, it makes them way more adaptable and flexible than INTJ-As. They're more open to change. But just like the INTJ-As, INTJ-Ts also have weaknesses that they deal with. For one, they're the less independent of the two subtypes, and they're also perfectionists. In work environments and even in their personal lives, INTJ-Ts are more prone to stress and anxiety. Since they're always wanting to improve or fix something, that can sometimes be to a fault and cause unnecessary stress and worry in their lives. INTJ-Ts usually have lower self-esteem and self-confidence, and they can tend to sometimes doubt themselves or their abilities. So it doesn't always make them the best at decision making, and it can sometimes lead to them seeking outside validation a little more. And they can also get caught up in how others perceive them, or they can get caught up in their own worries or shortcomings. So that wraps up the INTJ-T personality subtype. So I am very curious to know which one you guys are. Are you an INTJ-T, or do you relate more with the INTJ-A? And I don't know if you guys have watched any of my other videos, but if you have, which type do you think that I am based on my videos? I was definitely dragging my subtype on this one, and if you guessed it, I am, yes, the INTJ-A Assertive subtype. And that subtype honestly pretty much describes me to a T. So there are definitely some things I'm still working on, the social niceties being the biggest one, but it's still a work in progress nonetheless. So leave a comment down below though what you guys are. Are you the INTJ-T type, or are you the INTJ-A type? And did you know about these different subtypes? And if so, how do you feel about them? Do you feel that they kind of match who you are as an INTJ? Or do you see yourself as a mixture? I'm just curious. So thanks again though, you guys, for watching. As always, I will be back with another video really soon, but I'll see you in the next one. Bye.